All right. Okay. So for this week, we have a few things going on, a few different announcements. So the first thing is that over the summer, we are doing our around the world trip again. So we are in the Philippines this week, which means we're going to be practicing counting to 10 in Tagalog. And we have a little booklet. So I just posted it on Facebook and emailed it out. You guys can print it out and work on it at home. And if you're not coming in, just post a picture of it in the Facebook group that you have it done and you'll get a star for it. Otherwise, bring it into class and turn it in and you'll get a star for completing that booklet. If you bring 10 facts into class or post them on the Facebook group if you're not coming in, you'll get a star for that. 10 facts about the Philippines. Or if you bring in an artifact from the Philippines. Normally we do food too, and Darius always brings in such yummy food. We have a few Filipino families that always bring in some yummy food. But we're not doing the food this time, unfortunately. I'm sorry for all of the yummy stuff. But Caleb's mom always brings in a bunch of stuff too. Yeah, we have a lot of good food during the Philippines. It's my favorite one. But no food this year. So if you bring in 10 facts, bring an artifact from the country, or bring in that booklet, you'll get a star. The way that program works is you get your passport at the beginning of the summer. So we have them here. You can pick them up when you come into class, or you can print them out off of the Facebook group if you want to do it that way. And you just initial it. Your parents initial it each time you take class, or you initial, if you're an adult, you initial your own, or your parent will initial it for you each time that you take class. If you do 2 classes every week over the 9 weeks that we're going through these countries, then you'll have everyone marked. So if you miss a week, you need to make up those classes, but then you'll still have perfect attendance. So let's see. I think that's it with the countries. Yeah, I think that's it for that. So all of our classes right now are in the studio and on Zoom. So you guys, I've posted that schedule a few times. If you guys have any questions about it, just give us a call at the studio. Classes went wonderfully last week and we're excited about them again this week. All right, dads train free all month. So for any of you guys that have a dad in your life that you want to invite to classes, bring them into class with you. Let them train virtually. They don't have to take class with you. They can do their own classes if they want to, or they can take classes with you. We also are doing a Dad and Me self-defense class June 20th, which is a Saturday before Father's Day at noon. I think Mr. Lionel is teaching that class. So you guys can come into the studio. That's going to be limited to the first 20 people. So please register for that one. Or you can get on virtually and do that Dad and Me self-defense class. It's going to be a really good class. Everyone is welcome to do it. You guys can invite some other friends, any of your other friends and their fathers to do it with them, or whatever you guys want to do. So it's going to be virtual or in the studio. You do need to pre-register for that class. All right, this Friday, we have a gold meeting at 5:45. That's going to be on Zoom still. So we are talking about success skills, and a lot of you guys are going to be able to give some really valuable feedback because we're going to talk about the 7 habits in that. So gold meeting is this Friday at 5:45, talking about success skills on Zoom. And then we have a sparring seminar at 6:45. That sparring seminar is still going to be geared towards virtual training. So it's going to be, Ms. Maya is going to teach it in a way that's designed for the people who are training on Zoom. So you can still get on Zoom for that class. You can come in for that if you want to. Again, it's not going to make a difference. And I had some people ask if they come in, are they going to be able to spar with a partner? No. Or for the board breaking, are they going to be able to break boards if they're here in the studio? No. It's going to be the exact same class, whether you're on Zoom or in person. So it's going to be designed for virtual training. So just keep that in mind. We are going to allow some people to come in for that, but you do have to pre-register to come in. Spaces will be limited. Okay, so the sparring seminar is at 6:45. So we're going to be going same thing as that we've been doing, going over techniques, conditioning, cardio, some of the kickboxing, that kind of stuff, working on the skills a little bit more so than being able to practice sparring each other. But hopefully soon we will be sparring each other again. Okay, that is it for announcements. Do I have, trying to see, is Ezekiel on here? I see, yes. And is Danielle on here? I see Beatrice. Is Danielle with you, Beatrice? because we have 2 birthdays today, right? Danielle's birthday and Ezekiel's birthday. So we're going to go ahead and sing happy birthday to them. So if you guys want to go ahead, all unmute yourselves. We're going to sing happy birthday to Ezekiel and Danielle. Okay, go ahead and unmute yourselves. Ready, set, go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I hope you guys both have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.
506.
Thank you.
Wait, no. It's
All right. Okay, so happy birthday, you guys. I hope it's a great day. If I get to see you in class, even better. But if not, I hope you guys really do have a wonderful day. And then the last thing we'll do before we get started on our book, on our chapter, is we are going to go ahead and go into stars. So who has character building sheets to turn in? Who has some character building sheets to turn in? All right, Destiny. I think Destiny and Rylan. You guys have a few. Go ahead and unmute yourselves. How many do you have, Destiny?
I have 11.
Nice. And which ones are they?
Book club sheet, character building sheet number 6, self-discipline sheet, and character building sheet number 1.
Very good. Very good. Okay. And Rylan, how many do you have? 7. And which one do you have? You the Black Belt Excellence one? Short chart. Good job, Rylan. All right. And is that Ezekiel? You have some Ezekiel?
Yes, ma'am. I also have 7.
Good job. Is it the same on the short chart?
Yes, ma'am.
Good job. Good job. And Aaliyah, do you have some today?
Yes, ma'am.
I have some.
Okay. How many do you have, Aaliyah?
I have 13.
All right. And which ones are they?
The healthy eating, self-discipline.
273.
Yeah.
Character building sheet number 10. Character building sheet number 1.
I have stars.
And the chore chart.
Very good. Very good. Good job, Aaliyah.
I
All
have
right.
stars.
Miss Rihanna has some. Rihanna, how many do you have?
I have 9.
9. Nice. And which ones are they?
I have 2 character building sheets. I have the karate homework sheet, healthy eating, and 3 character building sheet chapter review.
Very good. Good job, Rihanna. All right, Mr. Caleb. Caleb White, how many do you have?
I don't know how many stars I have, but I got character building sheet 1, building good character 5, finished Black Belt Excellence to-do list character building sheet 6, and I did karate homework.
Okay, so all of those are worth 1 star, except for the number 6. That one's worth 7 stars. So you have 10, right? You have 3.
Yes, ma'am.
Plus that one. Okay. Good job, Caleb. Very nice. All right. Who else has some sheets? I think I saw somebody else. I have one that says Victoria's iPhone. I'm not sure who that is.
It's me, Miss Rachel.
Is that
Luca.
Hi, Luca. All right, Luca.
I have one for the book club sheet. And then I have quite one for the karate homework. And then I have this, which my mom said this is 1 star.
Okay. I'm not sure what that is.
It's just this.
Okay, so you have 3 total? All right, good job, Luca. Good job, bud. All right, who else has some character building sheets? Miss Aubrey. Aubrey, how many do you have?
She has 9.
9. Very nice. And which ones are they?
No, character building sheet 6, 2, 3, and 4.
Perfect. Good job. Good job. Good job. All right. Anybody else? Does anybody else have some character building sheets? Is that everybody? All right. Well, good job, you guys. Very good. Good job working on those over the weekend. I love it. I love it. All right. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen and we will go into our PowerPoint and get into this book. So we have talked about habits. Habit number 1. Somebody tell me what habit number 1 is. Go ahead, unmute yourself and say it.
Be proactive.
Be proactive. Good. Who can tell me what it means to be proactive? What does it mean to be proactive?
If it needs to be done, you just need to go ahead and do it.
Yep. So you do something that you know should be done without being reminded, sometimes without even being asked the first time. If you see it needs to be done, take the initiative, be responsible, and do it. Very good. Okay. What's habit number 2? Someone say habit number 2.
Begin with the end of mind.
Begin with the end in mind. Very good. Who can tell me what that means? What does it mean to begin with the end in mind?
What's happening?
Is Rylan, do you have your hand up? All right, who wants to tell me? Somebody go ahead, unmute yourself and tell me what it means. Miss Kathy?
It means never lose sight of your objective.
Yeah, so kind of to have your goal, your end goal, to know what you want your result to be. Whenever you're working on something, to know why you're working on it, what the purpose is, what you want it to be at the end of your whatever you're doing. Okay? All right, and then what is habit number 3? The one that we are talking about today. We started talking about it Friday. What's habit number 3?
Put first things first.
Put first things first. Very good. Okay, so I think that we talked about this. We did not start talking about the 4 generations of time management on Friday, right? I don't think so. No, thank you. Okay.
You're correct, ma'am. We didn't start it.
Okay, so that's where I didn't hide my slides. So we're gonna pick up from there and finish up talking about this today. And then we will give you some homework assignments and we'll kind of review it and talk about the application of it tomorrow. So put first things first. Who can tell me what put first things first means? What we've learned so far? What does it mean to put first things first? There's one big key word here that we talked about a lot last time. What does it mean to put first things first? Beatrice?
To prioritize.
Prioritizing. Very good. Very good. Okay. So there's a lot of different parts in this chapter. We talked about some of it in the beginning. Actually, I kind of just want to go through a really quick review. I'm just going to flip through these slides just to kind of review what we did. So this is mostly just talking about prioritizing, the differences between the first 3 habits. We did talk about a couple good quotes. These are some of the points that we talked about. Okay, and we kind of talked about the difference between management and leadership too a little bit there. Okay, so here's where we left off, the 4 generations of time management. So this is just kind of what he classified as the 4 generations of time management, kind of 4 different categories of being able to manage your time. So number 1 is notes and checklists. An effort to give some semblance of recognition and inclusiveness to the demands placed on our time and energy. And you guys, again, with this topic, I'm kind of skimming over it. So I'm giving you like the highlighted portions. But if you guys want to dive in a little bit more into this, if managing your time is something that you're working on, then you might want to go and really thoroughly read this part of the chapter, okay? The second generation was calendars and appointment books. So these reflects an attempt to look ahead to schedule events and activities in the future. 3, current time management field, adding prioritization to the first 2, and also focuses on setting goals, specific, long, intermediate, and short-term targets towards which time and energy would be directed in harmony with values. And 4, managing ourselves, so not managing time. Satisfaction is a function of expectation as well as realization, and expectation and satisfaction lie in our circle of influence. Rather than focusing on preserving and enhancing relationships and on accomplishing results in a short, on maintaining the PPC balance. Okay, so basically these 4 generations are 4 different like areas of time management. 1 is having notes and checklists. So I, every single day, write a to-do list. Most of you guys, most of the instructors have seen some version of my to-do list. My to-do list is 3 pages long, front and back, and then I have another page. That's my to-do list, right? Having notes and checklists to keep everything organized. But then having calendars and appointments. So in my phone, I have all of my appointments, everything that I have scheduled, all of the webinars, all of the classes, all of the introduction classes that we teach, everything like that, everything, all of the activities for my daughters, everything like that is in a calendar, in separate little calendars in my phone calendar, right? We have appointment books that keep, this is all of my works, all of the karate stuff that we have scheduled, everything that we have going on in the studio is in here. If it's a new person coming in, if it's doing a conference with somebody, a progress check with somebody, our gold meetings, our ninja nights, all of that kind of stuff is scheduled in here. Okay, and then prioritizing. So what I do every day is I write down, so like this sticky note is my priorities for today. That's my to-do list for today. And this morning, as soon as I sat down, the first thing I did was numbered it 1 through 20. So those are the 20 things that I have to get done today in order of priority. Okay. So if something major happened today, if our instructor today was sick and I was on the mat teaching every single class and I did not get to do, I only got to do 1 or 2 things on my checklist, those 2 things would be the top of my priorities. So those would be the most important to get done. And then the last one is managing ourselves, not our time. So I can't change our time, my time, but I can control myself, right? I can have self-discipline. I can set little goals for myself, all of those kinds of things. I actually, when I came in today, my goals were to get the first 4 priorities on my checklist done before mat chat. So that's the kind of stuff that we can control and we can manage ourselves, not our time, making sure we prioritize the important things in our life, prioritizing time with our loved ones, quality time, things like that. Okay, moving on from this. This is really important though, guys. Coming up with, this can be different for everybody. I have my system and I try not to, when I see somebody who's working on time management, I try not to say, do this, this is what I do, because what works for me is not going to be what works for you. Someone is not muted, someone that has a baby in the background. Okay, so come up with a system that works for you, but this is a pretty good general thing to do every day when you wake up in the morning. Write down what your goals are, write down your to-do list for that day and prioritize it. So if your biggest goal is to, let's see, we'll talk about Tegan for a second, okay? Tegan has, one of her goals for this summer is to learn how to ride her bike with no training wheels. So that's probably on her to-do list, right? To practice riding her bike. Now, is that going to come before feeding the dog when we're looking at priorities? No, but that might come before wanting to play with her dolls or something like that, because that's her goal. And so she's going to prioritize that. So coming up with a to-do list of the things that you have to do each day, prioritizing them, and then managing yourself instead of managing your time. Or there's a lot of quotes that say, something like manage your time, don't let your time manage you. And that's kind of what that's talking about. Control what you can control. You can't control time, but you can control how you spend your time. Okay, and that one is a lot more geared towards the adults. Time management gets a lot more important as teenagers and into adulthood. And while you guys are out of school, you have a little bit of free time too. So that's a little easier. All right, this one is talking about what it takes to say no. So again, as adults, this is something that is really important. You have to learn to say no. If I said yes to every single thing, every single person asked me to do, asked me to help them with, things like that, I would never get the things that are at the top of my priority list done, right? I would never have the quality time to spend with my kids. I would never have the time to exercise or whatever are the top priorities for me. I wouldn't be able to do those if I said yes to everything. So you have to learn how to say no to the things that are not important and that maybe somebody else could do, right? Or if it's for you guys, for a lot of the kids, this might be saying no to something that's really tempting, like playing or swimming when you should be in karate class, or when you should be doing your homework, or when you should be reading or working on your goals. So prioritize what's important and be able to say no to the things that are not. Okay, you must say no, not. You must say no to the things that are not important in order to say yes to the things that are important. There's so many typos in this PowerPoint. All right, effective time and life management is to organize and execute around balanced priorities. Okay, balanced priorities. I like that that's mentioned here because, like I said, if my number one priority is quality time with my kids, my second priority is my daily exercise. My third priority is my work to-do list. Let's just say that. If my top priority is quality time with my kids, so I spend 24 hours a day giving quality time to my kids, what's going to happen? I'm going to drop all of my other priorities. So you have to have balance. Just because something is the top priority doesn't mean it needs to take up all of your time, right? I still have to make sure I get my exercise in. I still have to work, even if that is my top priority. So having that balance is very important. Okay. If you were to fault yourself in one of these three areas, what would it be? I want everyone to write it down right now. I want you to write down what your area. So this is what area of these three areas, we're going to talk about each of these. Of these three areas, what is your weakness, your biggest area for growth, area for opportunity, the area that you need to work on developing a little bit more? So the first section is the inability to prioritize. So being able to say, this is the most important thing, I need to get this done first. Practicing prioritizing, it is a skill. It's a skill that you can learn and that you can practice and you can develop. I see people a lot who prioritize something that they like here at work. They have all of these lists of tasks to do and they do the thing that's fun first, the thing that they enjoy the most first. And sometimes you need to prioritize what you enjoy. But if there's something really, really important, if we have a student waiting for an answer and they're working on typing up the schedule for next week instead, that's not a priority. The student who's waiting is the person that needs to be taken care of first. So that's just an example. Just like I said with riding, Tegan wanting to ride her bike, that's her goal. So it's at the top of her priorities, right? But feeding her dog and feeding her turtles come before that. So learning how to prioritize is very important. So if you find yourself not getting the important things done or not getting the things done that are helping you to achieve your goals, then you probably need to work on prioritizing a little bit more. Okay, the second one is the inability or desire to organize around those priorities. So, okay, maybe you're able to prioritize and you know what's important, but you're not organized enough to make sure that the priorities are getting done first. Okay. And then the third one, the lack of discipline to execute around them, to stay within your priorities and your organization. So maybe you know how to prioritize, you've got it all organized, but you're lacking the discipline. So I could do all of these to-do lists that I want to do. I could write all these checklists, I could prioritize them, but if I don't have the discipline to sit down and just knock a task out and get it done, I'm still not going to achieve the things that I need to achieve. Okay, so who wants to share? Everybody write down which of the three of those is your area of opportunity and who wants to share theirs with the group? Beatrice.
I would have to say mine's the second one, the inability or desire to organize around priorities. I know like what is important to me and what like my priorities are. It's just like in the last slide, learning how to say no. I really don't do that often. Like I normally, whenever someone asks me for help, I always just want to help them so badly that I kind of forget my priorities.
Mm-hmm. Good. Well, it's good that you recognize that though. And for me, helping other people is a big priority for me. So that's something that, if one of our students asks for help, if one of our instructors asks for help, I am always going to say yes, because if it is important, because that is a priority. So that's something to consider too. I'm not saying you should never help anybody, but if somebody asks for help and you have to do this and this is really important, you've got to be able to say no. So good. All right, Hannah, you wanted to share yours?
Mine would be the lack of discipline to execute around them to stay with your priority and organization. Because I think of an idea and sometimes like it's at night and I don't have the motivation to get up and do it. Like let my cat out when he wants to go outside. I don't have the motivation to get up and let him out.
Very good. And it's good that you recognize that. And that's an easy one to start working on, right? Just making yourself do it. All right, Jonathan, go ahead. What's yours?
So, first of all, what were they again?
They're right here on the screen. Prioritizing, organizing, and then discipline.
Yeah, I gotta say the second one and the third one.
Okay, good.
See, my dad will like tell me to do the dishes or like empty the dishwasher, and then I empty it. I go to my room to hang out, and I'll hear him yell back, "Hey, can you fill it?" But I just don't have the motivation because I'm kind of lazy.
Yeah.
So I don't have the motivation
freeze.
to go back and fill it.
Mr. Cole, I know you heard it. What did he just do? This is coming from the last book we just read. What did he just do? Somebody tell me.
Well, he just labeled himself as lazy.
Yes,
So you
are not lazy. You are not lazy. Do not feed yourself that negative self-talk. That's wiring your brain to say, I am lazy. And the next time you have a decision and you can either be disciplined and get up and do it, or you cannot, you're going to be like, well, I'm lazy, so I'm not going to do it. Do not tell yourself you are lazy. You are not lazy. Maybe you have been lazy in the past, but you are becoming more and more disciplined every day. Okay. Good, Jonathan. That was good, though. Thank you very much for sharing. I'm glad you did, because I'm glad we got to catch you on that one, too. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to this next slide. All right, the key is not to prioritize your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. So with that, you create your schedule, design it around your priorities. Make sure that that alone is a big step, scheduling time for your priorities. If one of your priorities is your goal of black belt, which is on most of your guys' top priority list, then you need to make sure that you are putting time in your schedule to practice, to come to classes, all of those kinds of things, to train and prepare for it. For those that are getting close to testing, schedule time every morning to do your push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks or things like that. All right. Becoming a quadrant 2 self-manager. And it talks about, I'm not going to get into detail on what a quadrant 2 self-manager is, but becoming a quadrant 2 self-manager, identify your roles, select your goals, create a schedule, and adapt daily. So basically being able to prioritize, being able to manage your time. These are the 4 things you need to do. Identify your roles. So I am a mother. I am an instructor. I am a friend. Come up, like write down, seriously think about all of the roles that you have in your life. Because if you are an instructor, that's going to change what some of your priorities are. If you are a mother, that's going to change what some of your priorities are. If you are a sister, if you are a babysitter, if you are a team leader, if you are if you're a black belt candidate, if you're getting ready to test for your black belt, all of those roles, create your priorities. Make sure you guys all have your goals set. Raise your hand if you have your goals set for this year. Everyone has set their goals. Everyone has their goals set, has a black belt goal, has an academic goal, has whatever goals you have going on, you have your goals. So that's a part of your priority. Create a schedule. So I cannot tell you how important scheduling is to me. Every single Sunday night, I sit down and I review my schedule, Tegan's schedule, Marley's schedule, the karate schedule. I review my schedule for the entire week and schedule all of my time so that I can make sure I have a lot of time for all of my priorities. If I need to get up earlier to get something done or things like that, move things around, I do. I plan and I create a schedule. But then every single day stuff happens. So I might make this schedule. I could sit down and I could say exactly what time I'm going to get done every single thing on my to-do list. But you know what's going to happen? I'm going to see a student who needs help and I'm going to go talk to them. And then I'm not going to have that time anymore on my to-do list. So you have to adapt daily. Somebody might get sick. So that's going to change your schedule for the day. Somebody, COVID might happen and the karate studio might close and that's going to change your schedule. So you have to be ready. Even if you are fully organized, you have to be prepared to adapt, because if you're not ready for change, when change happens, it's going to throw all of your work down the toilet. Okay. So you want to, even if something happens and I have to adjust my schedule, I want to be able to say like, oh, that's okay. I can change it. These are my top priorities now. Let's keep going. Instead of saying, oh, well, my day was shot. Now I'm not going to get anything done. Right. Okay. So another thing that he talks about in this chapter is delegation. There are two types of delegation. One is gopher delegation and one is stewardship delegation. This is really important in leadership and management. Being able to delegate tasks that somebody else is able to do is very, very important to getting things done. Okay, so especially working in a group project or teaching a class, when you're in CIT and you have some other assistants there, being able to delegate things is very important. All right, so go for delegation is when you pretty much give somebody very, 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 very specific things to do. You say, I want you to go get this. I want you to do this, and these are the steps to do it, and then bring it back to me when it's done. That kind of thing, very specific delegation. Stewardship delegation is when you give somebody basically their own leadership. And you kind of have to have somebody who's proactive, who knows how to prioritize, how to manage their time, somebody that you trust to do these things. But if I could say, this is what I want to get done, please do it. Do it however you want, do it, whenever you want, whatever you want to do, just get this task done. So gopher is a little bit more specific. Stewardship gives a little bit more delegation, or gives a little bit more freedom and leadership on that. All right, so where did my application slide go? I don't know. But what I want you guys to do tonight is I want you to write out your schedule for this next week. So I'm going to go back to this one. This is probably what you should do. 1, write down your roles. So write the roles you have in your life. 2, write down your goals. And then 3, create your schedule. And this is what your homework is to actually show your schedule. So you can do this in whatever format you want to. You can write out all the times for every day. You can just write your to-do list for each day, whatever you want to do. But I want you guys to plan your next week. And I want to see that the things that are your top priorities are scheduled out to be done. So for every single person on here, one of your goals is black belt. So working toward that goal should be one of your priorities. Make time for it. Put it on your schedule, whatever you need to do. So creating a schedule for this week is your homework assignment. Everyone who does that tonight is going to earn a star, and that is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. We're going to talk about everybody's roles, your goals, your schedule, and ability to adapt. So schedule is the biggest thing I want you to share. So try to write down all 3 of those with the focus being the schedule. So write down your roles, your goals, and then create a schedule for this week, Okay, any questions about that little homework assignment?
My computer's running low on battery.
Okay, we're about to end right now anyways, so you're fine. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, I will see you guys tomorrow morning and we will talk about our schedules and review that. So get working on your homework. It'll just take you a couple minutes to do. And I hope you guys have a great day.
Rachel.
And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Rachel.
Tomorrow. My niece is
Tyler.
coming over tomorrow, and she is
Bye.
also coming for
Bye. Have a great.
Awesome. That's
Can I
awesome.
tell you a magic trick?
Look
Yeah,
at all
all
these
my
delicious
notes
eggs
are
that I
fair.
made.
That for my
Yes,
top.
I would
That's
love
why I'm
to see
sleeping
magic
while
trick.
she sleeps on the bottom. Would you like to see a magic trick?
I would like to see a magic trick. Let's see it.
All right, I'm gonna do two because that last one, the third one, is a little bit longer. So, all right, I'm allowed to know. You can just tell me, and it'll somehow work. So here's the first one. Pick any card.
All right. Do you want me to tell you what the card is or you just grab it?
Yeah. Well, actually, this one, could that work?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, you have to memorize that card, okay?
Okay.
So you got that in your head? So
Mhm.
I'm gonna take your card. I do not know. Your card right here. I'm gonna put it right back in the middle where I can't see. All right, then you know some magic tricks when they like slide their cards, and their card is facing upside down, right? They're upright. So watch this. Here we go. Is this your card?
It is. That was awesome. Good job, Caleb. All right, I gotta go,
Wait.
guys, because they're starting classes. But thank you, Caleb, for sharing that.
Wait, no.
You guys have a
Look
great
at my food.
I had a question about getting the guinea pigs.
Look at my eggs that I made.